Today you're gonna be able to save a lot of time by watching this video because I figured out the early game perfectly, so you don't have to do it alone at home and you can save a lot of time by just following along. So for the first wave, what we're gonna do is equip the Earth, the wind shield right here and the 10 mastery point armor, which will enable us to win this 2-on-1 versus the two Grocco brothers pretty easily. I don't think we can go up to 140 mastery points. I don't think we want to go below that. So 120 is basically always what you're going to aim for on the first wave, giving you 6 mastery points income for the next wave. Alrighty, this one done. Next one is going to be the ram fight right here. Ram fight, we cannot really beat him in a one-on-one like this, and we don't have swords that we could try out. So what we're going to bring in is our lowest cost unit, Air Atipo right here, giving us already 3 air stacks. And that's what we're gonna capitalize on for the mid game and the late game on the air affinity. And also on empaths. As you can see right here, we got a lot of air empaths going on right here. And they get so much stronger with each one that you put in. Because when you have like 6 empaths and 6 air, you're gonna get so much dodge chance, so much healing, so much shielding that nothing of your units will ever take any damage. You're just gonna dodge everything, and when there is an attack coming through, it just goes into the shield. So that's really, really strong today, and that's what brings us through the mid game, and we're gonna be able to save up a lot of mastery points through that. But now for wave number 3, we're gonna take a little bit of different approach. We're gonna pull in the flare right here, which counters the Malura with the affinities. And that is the best way I think you can beat wave number 3, because Malura is very strong. I don't think there is any way where you can go up to 140 mastery points. Malura is just such a strong dual character, very strong in those 1-on-2 scenarios where he can taunt 2 units with his ability, which is gonna happen right now. But a funny thing is gonna happen. After he's taunting our 2 units right here, he's gonna swap his aggro to the flare and he's gonna be attacking the flare. Which kind of saves us the round, because now we still have 2 units battering down on the Malura, slowly chipping away his health. Otherwise it wouldn't have worked, I guess. There we go. Now we're moving on to wave number 4, which is a lot of natures and a lot of empaths. And we have a funny tactic for this. I think there's no way you could do it better. So you bring in the Vermilia, you bring in the Atipo, you bond with one of those, and now we got 4 air and 3 empaths, which is really, really strong. Our ranger will be our damage dealer with the Earth Dagger right here. So our Atipo tanks the Archelon on the left, our Vermilia tanks the other 2 units over here, and our ranger will focus the Archelon. Usually I would focus the Fern right here, because he's a bit more of a threat, and Archelon is usually more tankier. But the Fern this time has the shield. So without the shield, Archelon is way squishier, and we're gonna focus Archelon first. And one thing I forgot right now that you should do at home is sell the armor right here. You can sell the 10 mastery point armor for the ranger, getting up to 145 mastery points. Because our ranger is not even taking damage, and we don't need the extra resistances right here. So that's a little tip for you at home. So then you will get 1 more income for the next wave. And yeah, it's still, like, if we didn't have the armor, it would be a bit closer, but we would still easily beat this wave. Moving on to wave number 5, this one was a really tough one. Because first I tried to beat it with like big units like Ryplans or Vermilia, but this enemy Flish and Scoriox, they're really strong at single target damage, and they would just burst down my units. So instead what I do is just flood the board with air units. We're going back to the air shield, keep in those 2 units. Our Atipo is gonna tank the Scoriox over here. Our Vermilia is gonna tank the Flish on the left side. And now with the ranger in there, see, we are missing this 1 mastery point that we could have gotten in the last wave. So we're gonna just downgrade our armor to the energy armor right here. And then we're gonna bring in the Cuculus. I don't think there is a way where you can actually beat this wave with 140 mastery points. If you found a way, let me know. But I think this was by far the best way that I could beat wave number 5 with 120 mastery points. Because I tried a lot of different variations with 120 mastery points with different units, and nothing seemed to work out, and this just destroys them. As you can see, we still got 3 healthy units, so there might be a way where maybe we sell the Atipo and we still are able to beat the wave. but you don't want to spend too much time on every single wave figuring it out. You want to find a good enough way to do it and then move on to the next one. So for this one, we could keep as we are. I want to go up to 160 mastery points. We need a damage dealer for that. So actually, let's bring in the Rake versus this Dualef. Our Vermilia is going to tank the Dualef. Actually, let's have our Atipo tank the Dualef right here. And we bring our ranger down to the Ramfire, and maybe like this. Now we're down to 120. It's almost too much. What could we do? We could sell the Cuculus, but I think we're just gonna roll it like this. We should be fine. Do we sell the Cuculus? I don't think so. I think we need it. And yeah, that's how we're gonna do it. Let's see how it goes. So another way to beat this wave is bring in one Scoriox and just the Ranger. The Scoriox is gonna be solo frontline versus the Dualef, winning the one-on-one, and the Ranger is gonna be solo versus the Ramfire, also winning this battle with the help of Scoriox later on. Yeah, as you can see, easy wave right here. We even managed to beat the Ramfire before he goes up into the air, and we could have probably sold the Atipo right there to have a little bit more income. Alrighty, this one, again, a tough one. We're gonna keep in the Rake versus the Furiox. Gonna keep this positioning and just pull over the Singe to the right. And that should do the trick. We can also upgrade the armor again. And here we go, let's see what happens. Cuculus going to the right is not ideal. He should have gone to the Furiox. Furiox still getting a lot of damage. Cuculus will be able to cast his Omega onto the Seer, which will be super strong. Actually, he's casting onto the Ramfight, which is a bit of a fail, but as long as our Rake stays nice and healthy, we should be fine. Oh, there, a clutch Omega from the Ramfire, but we got him. Pretty good. Moving on to the next wave. This one is still pretty easy, but the next one will be super hard. So this one we are selling this guy, bringing in the Scoriox as well to just have a bit more constant damage. We're probably gonna swap. Yeah, we're gonna bring in the Atipo to tank the Scoriox right here. And our Ranger is gonna tank in the bottom left. There is a scenario where we could sell the Cuculus and we still beat the wave. But then we lose a lot of air and the empath, so I think I want to keep them in, just in case. 140 is good enough for today. Alrighty, let's see how we're doing. Our Ranger is dying pretty fast. I hope he's dodging a little bit more, but enemy Scoriox already dead. And we're swapping onto the Ramfire. Ramfire, when he goes up in the air, Scoriox will still be attacking him. So that's not a problem, as you can see. And there we go. Wave number 8 in the pocket, and now wave number 9. This is the hardest one of the early game today, because they have so many tanks, so much sustain, the Malura. So, to be honest, I haven't found out the perfect way to do it yet, and we're gonna do it together now. So what I'm thinking is Riplands would probably be a really good call as a Berserker. He's shredding through the resistances of those bulwarks. So I think we want to bring in the Riplands right here and just do it with 100 mastery points. Atipo can tank this... what's his name again? Arcos? Nachos? Position the Scoriox close to the Atipo because he's gonna give you attack speed once he casts. And I think like that we should be pretty good. Our Ranger is gonna die pretty fast, and I hope we can just bash through those two units before that happens. So let's see how it goes. Like, I realized this is one of the hardest waves in the early game, and that's why I just invest a little bit more, going down to 100 mastery points, which is still fine. You're still getting 5 income for the next round. Okay, first unit dead. Nice cast onto the Arcos. And now our Atipo is tanking a little bit. And now we're all in here. So luckily the Singe and the Malura already casted their spell. Otherwise this would be a little bit trouble because they have so much AoE damage. Easy peasy, got through it. So once again, it's definitely not perfect, but it's good enough because now you can just start stacking some air. And we're gonna start transitioning into that before I let you go. So sell this Riptorus, click on the air right here and just bring in some of them. The air empath links is really good. So let's bring this guy in. And one key thing that you're gonna need to carry, to have an easy time through the mid game is this augment right here. The Lesser Saccharine Escape. Once your unit drops below 60% health, he gets untargetable, dropping all the aggro and gaining attack speed. So if we put this onto our Scoriox, we can use him as a tank. And as soon as he goes to 60% health, he drops the aggro and gets extra attack speed, which is huge. So, biggest threats are Blaze Knight and Umbre right here. So we're gonna position over here our Scoriox in the front line with this augment, attack speed and energy attack damage. And we're probably gonna drop the Cuculus or just the Atipo. Going up to 140 mastery points should be enough. Bring in all those units closer. Bond you two guys. That should be it. That should be enough to beat the wave. Our Lynx right here is also very tanky with all those air stacks. And now the fun begins. That's why I want to show you all those early game videos, because this is the hardest part, I think, in the game, and the most annoying part, to just keep grinding and trying again and playing it over and over again. But once you're through the early game and you have a little bit of bankroll to play with, then the fun begins. Then you can really invest a little bit and really have a good composition. Then it's more about positioning instead of just knowing exactly who wins against who. Alright, easy game as you can see. And when you see that I'm beating a wave really easily, you can always try to sell and play it a little bit more greedy. So, what we got here? Empath, big threat is definitely the Scoriox, but he also has the Saccharine Escape. So he's also gonna, once he goes below 60%, he's gonna also drop aggro. So we don't want to focus him first and just lose all that damage into nothing. Instead, we're gonna put our Scoriox here in the front line so he gets damage. Our Cephylynx goes next to him. Our Ranger, we're all gonna stack them up here because they're gonna shield and heal and do whatever to each other. It's the more stacked they are, the better. And now the only question is, do we want to bring in Vermilia instead of Cuculus? But I don't think so. Vermilia is gonna help with the solo target damage, which is gonna be huge versus those versus all the empaths. I want to split the damage a little bit more though. Let's put the Cephylynx in front of the Blaze Knight. And we're gonna not focus the Ember Lynx first. Kinda like that. Alrighty. Let's roll it. Should be good. Just the air is carrying through us through all of this. As you can see, we're only at 160 mastery points and it's still so... It's gonna be hard to beat this wave, I think. I don't think we're gonna... Actually, we're healing, we're dodging, we're shielding. Look at that. Like, this is craziness. This is so much fun to play around with. I'm definitely gonna try to get up in the leaderboards today. I'm gonna take the time. And probably maybe this run. Maybe I cannot stop. I wanted to stop at wave 10, but then it's really hard to stop the video. So let's keep going a little bit, maybe until I die. And I really want to show you the strength of this air empath build. So what we're gonna do, another air empath in here. Now we got 5 airs already, 4 empaths. A big threat will be the Dualef. There's a lot of threats with Rampfire and Scoriox. And the Axodon shouldn't stay alive for too long either. So we're gonna have our Scoriox tank those two guys. Maybe our Lynx tank the enemy Scoriox, or actually the Vermilia. Probably a little bit better for that. Kinda like that. Our Ranger on the outside here. Not too sure what to do with the Cuculus. Our Ranger should maybe stay over down here to tank the Rampfire. Because then also the Dualef will shoot the laser at our Ranger and not into our units right here. We have 15 mastery points left over, so what are we gonna do with that? Probably just bring in an Atipo and sell the armor on our ranger to get back to 140. Now we got 6 air, 5 empaths, and I don't think there is any way we can lose this. Obviously, like a Ramfire with big augments that are gonna one-shot our group right here is a threat. But without any augments, he doesn't have the damage to really get through all those shields. Actually, Dualev focusing into our units right here, but as you can see, we're just healing and shielding ourselves against anything. You can see it here. I don't think it represents all the heals and shielding, but it's a lot. And it's only gonna get more, because we have 2 more empath wind units right here. So if we bring those 2 guys in as well, I don't think there's anything that can stop us. And actually we should try to play it a bit more greedy now. Because we want to build up a little bit of bankroll. So our Scoriox is gonna go in the left right here, tanking the enemy Scoriox. Actually, he can tank both, because he's gonna drop aggro anyway at 60%. Vermilia next to it. The Lynx next to it. Atipo definitely next to it, giving everybody attack speed. Cuculus coming in from the side. And our range is just gonna occupy those 2 guys over at the left side. Kinda like here. Looking good. We can also slap on an arm on our rangers, still staying above 160, and we are rolling. Look at all those shields. It's insane, and that's why it's important they're all grouped up together, because they give shields to each other when they close to each other. Oh, the enemy Scoriox had the Saccharine escape as well. But it is fine, I think. Yeah, we're looking good. As you can see, all the dodges and all the shields, it's crazy. So, wave number 14, and it's just getting easier and easier. And we're gonna try to rush through this, so I don't want to take too much time with all of this. And we're just gonna bring the Adorito to tank the Malura, which you should have an easy time doing. Our Scoriox is gonna tank the Furiox, hopefully falling below 60% so he can trigger the Saccharine escape. Could actually bring our Adorito a little bit closer, so maybe he gets some shields and heals from the other guys. We're on 119, so we have to sell the armor right here. And it feels like we're kind of overinvested a little bit again. So what could we sell? I really don't want to sell anything. It feels too good having 7 airs and 6 empaths. The one I would sell is probably Cuculus, getting us up to 160 points, but it's a bit greedy, right? But we'll see how it works. And I hope the Adorito is far enough from the others so the Malura cast won't taunt everybody. But we'll see. Let's watch the Ranger dodge everything. Not so much, actually. Alright. I think we should have kept in our units, because this looks like a tough one. Our Scoriox is blasting through the enemies though. But there is still a full health Umbre and a Malura, so I think that's it. Went a little bit too greedy. Or did we? Or did we? Oh, so close. If we had the Kuka in, this would have been an easy round. But you get the point, right? Air is OP, Empaths is OP, stack them up. You're gonna have such a fun late game time, mid game time. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the subscribe button. I see you tomorrow. Peace out.